As teachers, we have lots of ideas going through our head every day. We are always thinking, how am I doing? How are my students doing? Am I doing what is best for them? Sometimes we get a bit frustrated when not everything is working out. Or we may have students who have behaviors that we don't know how to handle. Sometimes we get students who have unique strengths and needs that we had not encountered before. There are many ways to answer our questions. One reaction is to blame our students. They cannot do this, oh, they are not ready for our class. Students these days are not the way that students used to be, but that's not too helpful. This approach says something about us as teachers. It says we are out of touch with the students in our classroom. Another way is to copy our colleagues. Oh, so they get encore charts from Pinterest. I can do that. It's true, many of our colleagues have great ideas. But what if they are also just copying others? We can keep doing that, but copying others, although sometimes works, may not be the best idea for our own meaningful problems. We can ask the experts. And experts usually have lots of advice, they are full of suggestions. But they don't tend to stick around long enough to check up on us to see whether we implemented their ideas the way that they meant them, or to see whether their recommendations are truly working in our classroom. Some things might work, but we are still just a little bit above the trial and error way of solving problems. There's a more in-depth way of approaching our instructional problems, and this is to research our own practice. It's called action research or practitioner inquiry. Not every sort of problem is worth this, but there are some important problems that matter enough to warrant this approach. Action research is a form of professional learning that can inform our practice more meaningfully than copying our colleagues or asking experts for solutions. Let's take a problem that matters for our practice a great deal. A kind of problem that would make us a better teacher. A problem that is very relevant for what we mean by good teaching. For example, I might believe that building on students' strengths is a better way to go than focusing mainly on their shortcomings. I might believe very strongly that students who speak more than one language have a valuable skill set. While I think that speaking English is important for academic success, I also believe that students who speak other languages already have a lot of resources in their home language, home culture, and prior learning. So good teaching for me would be to build on those assets and strengths that students bring with them. So I might focus on this, because it is an important belief that I hold for good teaching. And I may ask myself this: what happens in my classroom when I create opportunities for students to use all of their languages to learn? Or I might focus on how students use their home languages in my classroom in a way that it supports their ability to solve, for example, math word problems. Or how does making bilingual texts available in my classroom shape the learning experiences of my students? Those are the kinds of questions that lend themselves to action research. When I try interventions that can potentially advance what I mean by good teaching, when I have a genuine question, when I really don't know the answer, but I would be a better teacher if I were able to find out through self-study. Those are the types of consequential questions that are possible to answer by carrying out action research.